Okay, so this here, we have, sorry about the microphone, I had to sneeze and I forgot to turn it back on, but we'll have code like this that will randomly pick from here, like random. Well, it's running right now, but it'll randomly pick, and then whatever the integer, or in this case the coordinate is, it will save it as a coordinate to start the procedurally generated hallways for the northern region. It will, so if we started here, it will randomly generate a hallway to reach this end, and then from there you go over here into it, and you come out here, which will, this is another point that is a starting point. So wherever these rooms are built, wherever the exit is going to be the new starting point to start and randomly generate a hallway that ends up wherever it needs to end up at the, once it reaches this end hallway. So it'll just keep zigzagging until it reaches the end, and then it'll close up the hallway, and then it'll create rooms within the hallway, just like it does in the southern region. Like, it's creating all these hallways and stuff like that, and you can see it randomly generates this hallway that zigzags this way, and then off of the hallway it creates these rooms, like these rooms right here. So if we go into the hallway, we can see all these rooms of the mansion and all of its different rooms, and it's different every time you press the play button, so it'll have a different layout each time. And then got that. So let's go up and let's see how we can get to the, so we're on the southern side now. We can get to the northern side here and walk through here and zigzags through some hallways over here to this end hallway, and then from here we go up to the higher levels, deck 7, 6, 7, 8, and eventually to the command bridge or the main, I don't know, main room of this Victorian mansion. And then, yeah, look for more stuff to escape, stuff like that. So it's just a really huge, complex mansion. And in the case of the spaceship, it's a huge, complex spaceship, and the Gothic dungeon, so on and so forth, with the industrial complex, the abandoned industrial complex. So there's all that. And that's just for this rift. So now we gotta actually start to do all that. Here, let me get rid of this. That was just an example. Not actually using this, but so there is this. This is deck 5 north. Once it generates the one of these rooms, then it goes and it creates where is everything? Okay. Then it creates, from possible x coordinates, get a random. So between these numbers, these vector x locations, pick a random one. It'll be up on this started from. Deck 5. So random X and a random possible Y. So, I'm wondering, since this was already randomly picked, if I should just use this X again. So it's a randomly picked Y that goes here, randomly picked X goes here, and then the Z is dependent on if it's 5th floor, 6th floor, 7th floor, 8th floor. So in this case, it's the 5th floor, so this is going to be 1971. And then it just places that room at those coordinates. And then from there, we can say, let's create a we're going to have to do this logic all over again. Where is it? This logic. So we set the first X. So instead of setting the first X, which is, this is for the south side, southern region. Now we need it for the northern region. And set the Y. The Y, first Y, will, then we add that to occupied. We don't need to add it, but yeah, we can. And then we set the segment coordinates, and then we add a straight ahead. And then from there, it will go after, once this is completed, then it'll create the second hallway. Second hallway segments placed. And from there, that is where we get all the zigzagginess, or whether we turn left or right or go straight or whatever. It'll be, it'll adhere to these rules. All of the orange ones are the violation, so hopefully, I don't know how that's going to work. It's going to be, so maybe what, so maybe what I want to do instead then is whatever is randomly picked will be the start of the rec room, but it will also, so whatever is randomly picked here from 0 to 2, whether it's the rec room or the kitchen or the mess hall, but wherever that is randomly picked, the X will also be same coordinate, so that we can just create a hallway directly from this hallway directly to the entrance of either the kitchen, mess hall, or rec room. And then from there, we create another starting point to create another zigzag hallway to reach the end there. So I'm going to need to set that so that we can create that. Turns out we already have all of these, so we're going to have to do this. Bum, bum, bum. This is so bad, you guys, because I don't remember. The code is all right here. I just don't remember how I went about working on it because it took 6 months, 6 months of me perfecting it and try to get it work and try to get it to not to be buggy. And oh my god, it was a headache. So now I'm trying to recreate this. Not This was all for the southern region. Now I need to recreate it for the northern region. This area here, this empty grid area right here, this block of empty space is where I need to recreate everything for new procedurally generated hallways and rooms. Whereas for the southern region, I had already done that for the decks 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I got 5, 6, 7, 8 to work on, and that means I have to recreate the quote unquote magic that I had procedurally generated here, like all of this stuff procedurally generated, and it's different zigzag hallways and it's different rooms. I need to recreate that here in this main grid hallway, so that's going to be really, really tough, because even though I have the logic done already for this, I forgot. And it's all here, but having to read through all of this and relearn it that's the thing. That's why it's not going to be easy. So I might as well just see if I can just get started. So this is going to be the first hallway. Since this is already picked, I simply just copy and paste this, though I don't think I want to use these numbers. I mean these variables. I'm going to create new variables. So instead of first x, y, and first y, I'll call it, because I already have a first xn and a first yn, so I'll call it first x instead of n, north, like that. And I don't really need to save these into a variable, so I don't know why I'm doing this variable thing. And I don't want to reuse these variables. They already have, code in here. Oh, maybe I can reuse these variables because the logic for them is already done. And they are already saved into the occupied array throughout the whole, procedural generation of the map. So they will already be placed into the, they're being added to the occupied array here through this custom event. Whatever the x is, whatever the y is, add or subtract 250 to it, make a vector out of it, and add it a unique floor vector location into the array of the occupied. And append to occupied and add to occupied. Add to occupied is just singular vector locations that you make a vector out of and then add it to the array. Whereas append to occupied is already a bunch of different arrays that you add to the occupied array. They are not singular vector locations. They are like a whole array of locations. So that's the difference between the append to occupied and the add to occupied. Um, so, I don't know. I'm gonna do this. Darn it. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. To copy these again, duplicate, and say this is the north. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Okay. Hmm. I'm not sure what's happening. So apparently Twitch stopped my stream and create a new stream and another new stream. Huh. All on its own. Okay. That's messed up. I don't know how to reconnect those streams as one whole entire stream. But that's see, that's okay. Shoot. Don't know. Because my OBS seems to be fine. Doesn't look like it's broken up. It's still saying that it's been 6 hours that I've been recording or streaming. Anyways, heading back. So I will just copy and paste these. And I will finally have something to add to Occupied once again. These deck O and deck 0, or deck Z and deck O will be different. So I will start to be using the last segment coordinates again, and the last segment. Alright, so I will go ahead, copy it from here, duplicate, bum bum bum. I think what I'm going to do is move away from this graph, and I will create, I wonder if I can duplicate this graph. Can I duplicate a graph? There is no way to duplicate. Okay, so I will see if I can cut this, create a new graph. This new graph will be called Event Graph North, or just Event Graph 2, because there's no others. So just Event Graph 2, paste, oops, Event Graph 2, paste, okay, and I will also compile, will copy this D5 north, cut it out of here, out of the event graph, and move it to the event graph here. Dun, dun. Okay. Now we will okay, so now we got alright. So now we got this, but I do not want to use these. Can I replace with first X north and replace this with first Y north? Okay, and the end will not be 3500, obviously, that's in the southern region. It will have to be the Y of this. So so this one set here. Don't know if I want it that way. How about instead of that, I just simply take it from here and say set first X north, like this. Goes to X, goes to X, goes to X. Dun, dun, dun. That doesn't really matter where, but I guess I can start this here somewhere. The first thing it does is sets these. Set first Y north. This Y goes to this Y. This goes to this one. And this goes to this one. Okay. What happened? What happened? Why did it not? Okay, there we go. All right. Okay. So this is already set. We simply just do a get. We don't need to. Where is it? Whatever it is, we add it there. And the y north will be here, which will go into there, and which will go into there, and goes into that y. This x goes into this here, x, y, and z. Z. And first north y is also like that. First y north is like that. First y north is like that. First y north and first y north. And that means we don't need these. Just directly connect this to this one. Like this. Move it down. Not that much down. Move this over. Move this. Segments. Add straight ahead segment. Last segment coordinates. And last segment index. Okay. So this here, save all, is our first at occupied, is our first hallway. For deck 5 on the northern region. In the northern region. Okay. And then from here, where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? We go to the second hallway. I wonder if I should make this a yeah, I really should make this a custom event so that I don't have to I wonder if I simply just do this. So after you create the north, then you go back up here and you create these. But at those regions. Yeah, so I don't have to recreate everything in the event graph too. was the point of it? So how am I going to do that? That was the whole point of creating these deck Z. So now I can create it on deck Z or deck 5. But I need to set deck Z as deck 5, which is 1971, and deck O is 2066. Goes to here. So, whenever it's done with this, creates. No, I don't need that. Simply just do this. This. Yeah, so I guess I don't need to make these variables for first y north and first x north, because I simply have it all already right here. So once I've completed this and I've created this, then I simply just connect back to this, and it will create my first hallway from a randomly chosen spot. But at the deck O and deck Z, which was set here, which means the fifth deck, deck 5, so deck 5 north, once it creates that hallway, zigzags, then it creates the second hallway. Then from there, it goes to the main logic. Last segment coordinates. Now this is where the problem is. This will always be false. Darn it. I'm guessing it's gonna need a new main logic. So how do I do this? I need to create a new. So if the last segment coordinates is less than or equal to 4,000, keep continuing to place hallways. But if it is equal to it, then north hallway was reached, stop. So I should change this to southern north hallway. Southern north hallway was reached. Stop here. This is for the southern north hallway. I need now a new. No, but the logic here is still the same. So, except for all of this stuff, north and south generate rooms all over again. So yeah. So I really do need to create a new north hallway reached, stop here. So if y is equal to or is less than 4,000. If it's less than 4,000, if it's equal to 4,000, stop and do all of this stuff that you need to do. But if that means that you're done with creating the hallways, now generate things like the rooms and the walls for the hallways. Generate the walls for the hallways, and then generate the rooms in the hallways, and then generate the walls for those rooms and stuff like that. But so that's if it's true, you end there. But if it's not true, you just keep going in and placing hallways all over the place in different combinations. It just randomly, it's just random. It's not random, it's based off of the last segment index. All right. So, but other than that, once you finish generating the south section walls of each deck and everything else on each deck, then it seems to just end there. Okay, you just end there. But so I need to change this logic here to state something like, do I really need this sequence? Just do that. Okay. Now the new, so let's see, negative 4,000. Y is equal to negative 4,000. That should be this line exactly. So let me see. How can I mark that line? I can use a wall. Let me see, do I still have walls in here? It's floor, ceiling, floor. What is this? Okay, I do have walls, so let me pick one of these walls. Duplicate it. Duplicate it and bring it down here. And then move it here, rotate it here, move it back. Okay, so that should be 4,000. That's okay, and that is 4,000, negative 4,000. So once it reaches that, stop. So negative 4,000, stop. The new, so that's for the southern region. That's the end of the southern region's, procedurally generated area. But now I have a new procedurally generated area in the northern region. So I need that northern region's Y. So let me go ahead and bring this up to negative 1,500. Bring it up to 2058. Bring it back down. So this is the new northern region's north hallway, and that is negative 1,800. So I need a negative 1,800. All right. So how will I do this logic? you know, allow it to still stay within this. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so again, main logic is this. If your y coordinate has reached the end of the southern region's north hallway, then go to north hallway, reach stop here. But if it has not reached it, then continue to place hallways. So I need an actual other one up here. To say, if it's not true, if you haven't reached, if your y coordinate has not reached negative 1800, then check if it has reached negative 4000. 18,000, not 1800. 18,000. No, then, you know, continue and do this. If it hasn't reached all the way to the back north, then did it at least reach the southern north? Yes, then finish everything off. But if no, continue to create hallways. Place these hallway combos down over and over until you reach the end here. Until you reach these y coordinates. So, but if it's true that you did, then create another north hallway, reach stop here. Type of custom event. And I don't know if we need these, but we might. Yeah, we definitely need now these guys. So we're definitely going to need these to make the rooms within those hallways. Activate chosen player start. So this only happens after you reach the very end of the hallway. So you only choose a player start when you've reached the very end of the hallway. Okay, so that makes sense. Then you add all of the arrays to the occupied array, and then you create the north and south section walls, which are... Oh, yeah. So they are the walls that close off the hallways, the main grid areas. So this one will need to be different. This one will need a different north hallway reach stop here logic from this. There will be some things that are similar, but then it's going to need its own certain things to... So I guess I can still copy this. Duplicate. Uh, select and copy, paste it here, create a new custom event that you will call Northern Region End. Final and stop here. What are all these? Okay, and DAX 0. So instead of 4,000, this will be native 18,000. Again, negative 18,000, because that's the final end. Last ahead segment placed. And again, negative 18,000. Hallway and inner walls complete. I think I may need a new one because then I need one that says 18,000. Or I can just say Y, because the last segment coordinates should have the correct Y, which is if it's negative 18,000, then it's going to be 18,000. And then we do all of this logic, which creates the walls for O, but then we have instant transform location Y. One for negative 4,000, one for negative. Yeah, so we're gonna need a new one of these main hallway inner walls complete logic for event graph 2. You know what? I'm gonna have to name this something else. Northern Region. I suppose I could call this one Southern Region, North Region. Instead of Northern Region, just say North Region. And this one will be South. You cannot rename the event graph, unfortunately. The main event graph. That really sucks. That's fine. Alright, so this is going to need its own hallway and inner walls complete, which I will. Do I want to do that really, or do I want to just connect this Y? Because this way, it for sure tells me that I'm creating the guess I will just go ahead and say copy that, paste it here, and call it Okay. Oh my gosh. It's going to take a long time to compile. Alright, so we will call this here. So instead of 4,000, we call this 18,000. Anything more? It's using first X. So this is 4,000. I mean, not for that, 18,000. So for that's for the for that. This one is for. I need to get that number. But this one here, you change this, replace. Oh, there's no replace. You simply just gotta final hallway inner complete. That. Oh, what am I doing? Just deleted it. This is the one I want to delete. There's generate north rooms and south rooms. I don't need it. But I do need this one. So I need the beautiful creature, ugly beast. And turns out, if this is the case, then we actually do not need. We don't need. We don't need a chosen player start. Down here. We don't need this one here. These are the lower, not the lower level. Well, yeah, the southern region is the lower levels. We don't need a chosen player start there. Because we're still waiting for the rest of the rift to be generated. North section walls. No. How am I doing this? Yeah, we don't want to create the chosen player start here yet. Because there's a couple of. Oh, yeah, because we could have player starts all the way there on the northern region, not just the southern region. Okay, chosen player start. this is a print string that is not being used, so I can just put it to the side there like that. Okay. So player start, get all the actors, whichever player start it is. Does it equal to the chosen player start from gameplay player mode? If it does, do that. Again, we're printing stuff. We don't need it. I see. So these are going to create chosen player starts that are specific to the southern region. Alright. So you know what? We'll just leave it there for now. We'll just leave this one here, and then we'll get rid of this chosen player start. And modify the chosen player start later, whenever, figure it out if this works or not. And then the north and south section walls. These are going to be specific to this. Yeah, this is to the south. These numbers, these y coordinates are for the south. So I need a new one for the north. Final north section walls and final south section walls will be different. They will use the same wall x coordinates. I think. Will they use the same wall x coordinates? Uh-oh. No. I don't think they will. Because these wall x coordinates are very specific. And I don't know if they reach the same extents as negative 4,500 and positive 5,000. So if this here, negative 1,800, I need to find out what the end here is of the south side. It turns out to be negative 8,000. Negative 8,000. So that's where numbers like these. So this is negative 18. This one, instead of 4,000, will be negative 8,000. So it generates the walls for that northern region, the southern part of the northern region. This is the northern part of the northern region. What else? Deck C is always going to be whatever it's set to. So yeah, these will have to have their own. So instead of north section walls, I'll call it final north section walls and final south section walls. So this is the final one. So let me copy and paste those north and final. So it's this whole thing. Copy. And so don't need the actual custom. I'll call this final. Wait, which one is which? So this one is negative 4,500. That's positive. So this is the final south. This one is the final north. Final north section walls. And this one is final south section walls. Compile. Save. And these numbers will, I don't know if I'm going to keep this wall x coordinates. It's probably going to be different. Don't know if I need all of this. In fact, I don't think I even need any of this. Because if you look, it's already, these walls are already created. This one is already created, and the one back there is obviously already created. So, don't think I need him. So let me just go ahead and delete. Delete this. And delete these. North section walls, delete. South section walls, delete. We don't need a final north and south section walls because I just showed you those walls are already hard-coded and created. Those are the final walls. Right? So, and there's Beautiful Creature, Ugly Beast. They create the rooms. Then whatever the rooms are created will be appended to the occupied array. Occupied holds every single floor so that I know where the monster can run. That is created, and where the monster cannot run, where it's not unoccupied, because there are sometimes the monster will try to get to an unoccupied floor that is blocked off by the procedurally generated room. So I needed to create my own sort of array to tell me exactly what floor vector locations the monster can actually run on, and not any of the unoccupied spaces. Because if you look at the if you look at the shoot, what do you call this thing? Let me look at it. Oh, the navigation. If you hit P, you will see like a green area, and unfortunately that green area also covers unoccupied floor spaces, which will try to tell the monster to run to those spots, and it'll always get stuck. So to prevent that, I create my own occupied array of floor vector locations. Wait 1 second. Alright, so turns out this final end stop here doesn't need too much, actually. Add to occupied is already here. Then append to occupied is all that kind of stuff. Last ahead segment placed. Add straight ahead. Right, we'll see. This I don't think will work. I need to do a lot more sort of finagling with this to get it working right. So this is the inner walls of the final hallway. Okay. I don't think this is going to work, but because I did not add the logic yet for the rooms. So they're probably just going to create rooms on top of it. Don't know. After it completes this, final end stop here. I need to call it here. Final hallway. Final end stop here. This is the north hallway reached. Stop here. Final end reached. Stop here. Oh no, just final end. Stop here. Okay, so stop here. If you've reached the absolute end of the northern hallway, which is negative 1800. But if not, then did you reach the end of the southern hallway, which is negative 4000? Then if true, then you do all of that logic. But if not, just continue to place random hallways throughout the grid areas. But let me look at it really quick. I don't know. Deck C, X and Y okay, so maybe the X and Y coordinates should be fine. Okay, it should be okay. Because those X and Y coordinates are... It's not okay. As you can see, it'll go on forever. Because it'll never reach negative 4000. So I need to add another logic here that says, is the Y negative 1800? So it's not going to work. It's just going to keep going on forever. And what sucks is it will too. Because I've done it before and the hallway went on forever and I was just walking through it and I didn't know that it was going on forever. And it took like 15 minutes for me to realize that after walking through the hallway, it was not ending. It just kept going and going. And so I had to backtrack all the way 15 minutes out of the hallway, run all the way back around and find out, oh darn, this hallway went on forever. So it needs to stop. It needs logic for it to tell it to stop. So if it doesn't, it's just going to keep going on forever and ever and ever. So it needs this logic that says, did you reach 1800? True. Then final end stop here. But if not, keep on going. Don't know if I want it from here though. What is going on? This needs to be there. This needs to connect to this. Connects to that branch, which needs to connect to this branch. And then this branch connects to here. But if none of these y coordinates were reached, if the negative 18,000 and the negative 4,000 were not reached, that's the false, so you continue to add more stuff. Then you test again. Was it reached? Final stop here. So instead of that, going to that branch, we have to go to this branch. And this false will go to this branch. And check that logic. And it's all the different conditions, which there's not too many different conditions, just the southern region's north hallway or the northern region's north hallway. Those are the absolute end stops or end points. So did it reach the absolute northern region's end hallway? Yes, then final end stop here. Go to this logic. Add to occupied. Add the last straight ahead segment and save that information for later. And then run the final hallway. This one will close up the inner walls. And then once you close up the inner walls of the hallway, then you create the beautiful creature and ugly beast rooms, and then add all of those room locations to the occupied floors array. And then that might just actually be it. There's nothing else to create. And then it moves on to spawning the monster and stuff like that. But other than that, the inner walls of the north and the south hallways are closed up here. This logic is used to add the instance of the walls to close up those hallways. And that's why I left these hallways open as opposed to closing up with walls, stuff like that. So there's that for this. Right. But I still need the logic to... In fact, I don't know if I need this anymore. Delete it. I just needed it to show me where the extents were. So there is that logic. Now let me go back and add the rest of the logic in here. So there's another in here that I need to duplicate. This one is 1800, 18,000, and it comes from this here, connect that up there, this false, connect there, and then this true goes to final and stop here. Okay, and anything more? No. Goes back to main logic. Again, it checks, did you reach the final end? Yes, then do the logic for final end. But if not, did you reach the southern region's end? Yes, then do the logic for that. But if not, then continue on and place more hallways in your grid areas. Okay, so I already did this one. No, I didn't. What is this? What is this? What is this? This is play straight ahead combo. Okay. Alright. These do not have any hard code of negative 4,000, so oops, yes it does. So I need to do more logic checking here. Duplicate. So this one will be negative 18,000. Okay, still going there. This one goes there. And this one goes there. This one goes to final and stop here. Like that. It doesn't go anywhere after that. After you check all this logic. So, did you reach the end of the northern region's hallway? True, then stop. And do this logic. Right here. But if false, then did you reach the end of the southern region's hallway? True, then do that logic. Create the inner walls, generate the north and south rooms, generate beautiful creature and ugly beast, activate the chosen player start, and append to all of this and complete the north section and south section walls. But if where did the logic go? Okay, so if you didn't, then just continue to create more hallways. Alright. But once again, check there's a whole bunch of checking. So we gotta connect this here, connect this here, connect this to final stop in. Connect this up here. Oh, we need to change this to 18,000. Alright. So those are the two very end Y locations of the hallways that we need to check. This is the northern region's end hallway, and this is the southern region's end hallway. Do we need to check again? Oh my gosh, we need to check something. What is this? Oh, it's just for the X. So we cannot go farther than negative 3,000 or 3,500. Positive. Okay, now we do have to check another. Before we end, we do another check for the very end. Very end. So we get Y and 18,000. This one goes up to here. This false goes to here. And this one goes to final stop here to that logic, or that custom event, or go back to the main logic if none of these were true. Okay, so what was all of this? Play straight ahead combo. Let me go back. We did the play straight ahead. Now we do the place left turn combo. Where is what is this one? Left turn from right combo. Huh, I just randomly picked this. Okay, we got the negative 18,000, negative 4,000, negative 18,000, negative 4,000, then back to main logic. So let me just go down the list here. So we did this one. We just finished this. Let's see, anything else that I need to check on here? So we got 18,000, 4,000, negative 18,000, negative 4,000. Again, one last time. Negative 18,000, negative 4,000. So these, I'm not sure about this. Positive 3,500, negative, I think it's wide enough for, so negative 3,000, positive 3,500. Oh, that's not what I want. Oh, this is within these regions of negative 3,000 and positive 3,500. So whatever is created in the north section will be fine because it uses these. It uses this possible x coordinates, and it's definitely going to be within. So these walls, these rooms will be within these coordinates, which means that it will also be within these coordinates. If the x is within negative 3,000 and within positive 3,500. So that means it should work. Otherwise, place a left turn combo. But other than that, do not place a left turn combo. Just check whether the y coordinate has reached the final end of the northern region or the final end of the southern region. If it's reached the northern, okay, all of this logic is here. So now let's go back to main logic and then go from there. Are you kidding me? I just did this. I literally just came from here, right? Yes. So final stop here. Okay. And then we got to go left turn combo. Now, whatever the left turn combo, it is also doing this X thing, which is within the. I mean, it's external, so the rooms will never violate these logics. So we don't have to go to left turn violation, right turn violation, whatever. It might, but if it does, the code is here. It's left turn violation. Other than that, let's check. Here we have to do the whole thing again. So we have to do the negative 18,000. Here we go, negative 18,000. Connect the y coordinate. Here the true doesn't go here, it goes to this one. The false goes to this one. And the true goes to final end stop here. It goes like that. Okay. So right now, none of these are taking into account uh, you know, the rooms, the big rooms that I added into the northern region. I'm gonna have to figure out the code for that, cause yeah, I don't know. Forgot that. I mean, not I don't know. I know for sure that I didn't add them in. So I don't know. So all of this logic right now is just gonna overlap those big rooms that I just created. So that's not good. But so long as I can test this to see if it's working. Anyhow, what is going on here? Again, the rooms are within these, so we should not be hitting any westbound violation. But if we do, there's the logic code right there to bring us back onto the right track. And this one too, westbound violation, westbound violation. And other than that, we got more westbound, and then we do the actual testing. Did we reach the end test? So there's a lot of these reaching the end test because we never know, unfortunately, whether we reach the end or not. So we have to check it all the darn time in all these codes. So we go there, and we go there, and we change this 18,000, and we say final, stop here, here, otherwise north hallway, stop here, otherwise back to the main logic. So this logic was the anything down here I need to check. No. Place left turn. So now I need to check what is after that. So we did straight ahead. Now we left turn combo. Now we do right turn combo. We need to check. Anything down here? No, it stops. Anything up here? No. Okay, we need to check this one. So duplicate this. Move this up here. We can move this down here. This one will go to final stop end. Final stop here. This will go, this true will go here, and this false will go here. And the coordinates, the y coordinates anyways, goes to negative 18,000. Okay. Alright. So we got that. Anything down here? No. We're just checking for the X. Eastbound violations. No. More eastbound violations. Add. Keep adding. Okay. Now we check again for more eastbound violations. Now we finally check as we move towards the north. Now we check this. Go here. This true. Whoops. Goes here. The false goes here. And the true goes final. Stop here. we need the Y up here, and we need to check for 18,000, like that. Okay, and then alright, anything more? So this was place right turn combo. Okay, so we did straight ahead, left turn, right turn. Now we need to straight left combo. Okay, that ends there. This place right turn from left combo. This checks the X. We are well within the X, so we don't have westbound violation. If we do go out, then, you know, we got this logic to keep us on track. Okay, again, westbound violation. It keeps going west, more west. So it's not moving up, so we don't ever have to check. Now that it's moving up, now we gotta check the Y. And so we duplicate this. There. We gotta check this true goes there, false goes to there, and then this goes to final stop here. And the Y goes there. 18,000. Okay. After we check all of these, then that's pretty much it. So my first time trying to create this game, the AI chatbot wanted me to do everything with for loops and while loops and all that. And so I tried it that way, and it was just causing so much problems and couldn't find the bugs that it was causing. So I decided to change everything modular into just a bunch of custom events and call the custom events whenever needed. And so that's why you have a bunch of custom events and a bunch of like these kinds of like combos to keep everything modular. And yeah, that's it. Just keep everything modular. Alright, so we got check this negative 18,000, negative 4,000. If true, final stop. If false, check for negative 4,000. True, stop here again. But if false, then continue to the main logic. This one here says place straight left combo. So now we need to go from there. So we did straight ahead, left turn, right turn, straight left combo. Now, we actually did this already, I think, right? Yes, 18,000, 18,000, 18,000. Okay, so what is this one called? It's called left turn from right combo. Go back to logic, main logic. So we did straight ahead, left turn, right turn, straight left turn from right. Now we do right turn from left. Okay, now we check all of these. Spaghetti code. It goes up to here. Now we need to duplicate here. Y goes up to here. Checks the, what time is it? 12:21. Oh my gosh, I gotta go. 18,000. So this one, oh my goodness. Guys, I have to go. Yikes, I didn't realize the time. This goes to final stop. Never mind. I can continue working. And I'll go tomorrow. Well, today is already tomorrow. It's 12 a.m. here, and it's already tomorrow for me, so So let me, oh, did I really just do that? Darn it. Let me put that, just move that aside. Make sure these, otherwise go back down here and then go back up here and do this check. Duplicate this one. Let me just do it from here. Negative. And if it's true, final stop. If it's false, go up here. Like that. If it's true, final stop. If it's false, check again. If it's negative 4,000, if it's true, stop there. But if it's false, continue again. And check again. Duplicate. So it has to check a lot of times. Every time you go north, you have to check the complete end. You have to always check the end of the line. But if you go sideways, you don't have to check. You do other checks for that, like westbound or eastbound violations, left turn or right turn violations. But you have to always check every single segment that you go northward. You have to check whether you've reached the final end, like either negative 4,000 or negative 18,000. Because if not, you'll just keep going. It'll just keep generating hallways forever and ever. And I found out the hard way one time when I was playtesting. I was like, why is this going on forever? It's not ending. After 15 minutes of walking through the hallway, I realized, oh, you know what? Something's wrong. And then I had to backtrack all the way back out. And then I found out that it was going past, way past my limits. I put that floor on the ground to limit the area of the rift that I want to create in. And it bypassed it completely. So you need to do these checks of your y coordinates, or it'll just keep going past your y coordinates of negative 4,000 or negative 18,000 or whatever you set your limits at, and it'll never end. It will just keep generating hallways over and over and over. So it'll completely bypass this, and it'll go past. You see this floor on the ground? This is my limit of where I want to create within. But if you do not put those limit checks, it'll just keep zigzagging hallways all the way to infinity, all the way down there. And I found out the hard way when I play tested one of them that bypassed the last check and just kept going. And you can't tell because you're inside of the game. So when you're walking through the hallways, you're like, what? Why is it like 15 minutes later there's a freaking still more hallway? And turns out, yeah, because if you don't do these checks, it'll just keep going on forever, and it'll just generate them forever. And because I was generating them with instant static meshes, it could literally go on forever because it wouldn't bog the system down in like a divide by zero sort of infinite, sort of running code. So this is all checked. We've got negative 4,000, negative 18,000, negative 18,000, negative 4,000, negative 4,000, negative 18,000. Then we go back to what is this? Right turn from left. Go back. We did all that. Straight left, left turn from right, right turn from left. Now we go to straight right. Anything down here? No. Anything here? Anything? This is the eastbound violation. We don't need to check that. Eastbound violation. If it goes horizontally, it could go horizontally forever too. But again, if you have violation code to stop it, then it'll stop. But mostly my code was to go north, so that's why it has to check the y coordinates. So this is more eastbound violation. Then we finally get to here, where we finally move forward and not sideways. This is where we need to do the check for negative 18,000. Okay, and this goes check there. False goes there. True goes to final stop. If you reach negative 18,000, final stop. If you reach negative 4,000, southern stop. But if not, continue on with your logic. So do that, save this. And what is it? This one was called straight right combo. So now, I think that, so we did the right turn from left and the straight right, and now we do the north hallway. We stop here, which is, no, don't want that. I don't want that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do a check. Is equal to negative 4,000. If it's true, oh, darn it. Yeah, if it's true for that, then do this. If it's false, do absolutely nothing. But if you check this one, then for the default, do this. Y coordinate checks there, and it checks for negative 18,000. Okay, so that's the default of the main logic. And ta-da. Check 18,000, true, stop. If not true, continue. Southern, stop. If not any of that, do absolutely nothing. Okay. So we'll see what happens. That's it. I think that is it for the northern region. No, that's just for deck 5. But that's it. I don't think I need to. Let me see. Do I need to mess with any of these code here? This is already negative 18,000, 18,000, 18,000. We need the beautiful creatures, ugly beast, append, final hallway and inner wall complete, 18,000. I don't know if this is going to work, but okay, I got it. Okay. All right. Now let's actually test this and see what happens. Cross fingers. Will it work? Go down to the nav mesh. Dun, 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 so much static mesh. Rebuild nav mesh and C. Don't need those open. Do I have? Alright, now let's see what happens. We run out here. Okay, we run up here. We run upstairs all the way to the 5th floor. Oh my gosh, it's like a million stairs. Alright, there we go. Okay. It didn't generate. Oh my gosh. It's the abyss. It didn't generate the hallways. I mean the walls. It's supposed to generate the walls. Excuse me? Why is there no footsteps out here? It's still the same floor. Oh, the monster's out here somewhere. I'm trying to test monster. Leave me alone. Okay. So these walls were not generated. They were supposed to be generated. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. These floors are instant static meshes, and they have the whatchamacall set to them, but these floors do not have the physical material set to them. So, oh, the edge of the abyss. Alright, we gotta go here. So that's why when you're walking on these floors, they don't make any sound, because I didn't set, like, let me see. If I go here and I select the floor, you go down. See, the physical material was not set, and therefore it doesn't have the wooden footsteps or the carpet footsteps or the whatever, the metal footsteps. So let me go ahead. See, as I move forward, does it create? Okay, let me look at this first. Looking into the abyss, there's not even any stars. Alright. No, these walls did not even generate the walls. Can I see the room? There should be a room that was created here. I'd have to look at a different way. So I don't see anything. Right. Okay, so let me use this. There it is. It's right here. What sucks is, so the room is fine. What sucks is the logic didn't work. It did not create the, it should at least have created the first hallway segment and then a second hallway segment. But it didn't even do that. I wonder why. Wonder why. Whoa! There's a monster. Whoa, he's up here. Scared me. he know I'm here? Alright, okay, he's going downstairs. Alright, so why did it not generate? It should have picked a spot randomly here on this hallway here, created one hallway segment here. Let's say if it picked this spot, then the logic says to create a hallway segment right here. Then from this hallway segment, either go forward, turn left or turn right, turn left or turn right, and then keep going until you reach this. Oh, no. That I forgot. I didn't add this logic into it yet. But it should just keep going left and right, left and right, left and right, straight and left, or whatever the random procedural generation logic is until it reaches this end. Then when it reaches this end, create the last hallway segment, and then from that last hallway segment, create all the walls to close up this hallway except for that last hallway segment so that you could still walk through this, and then create the walls to close up this hallway segment except for the spot that we was randomly picked. So now you have, but it didn't do that. Why did it not do that? So if I look back at event graph, we clear this, we clear this, we clear the wall data, we clear the corner, we get the unoccupied fifth north. Oh, I see. I think what happened is, let me look at this. I mean, it's not going to make a difference if I look at it or not. It only has about 224. I see what happened. It's not adding. No, wait. No, it should still. So it set the fifth floor, which is 1971. It set deck Z to the fifth floor, 1971. And then it runs this code, and it picks out of this, it picks either the rec room, recreational room, the kitchen, or the mess hall, and it places it. Once it is done with this logic, it should have gone back. Once it finished that logic, it should have gone back up here from the sequence node, done 0, then 0, picked a random spot, picked a random X, oh, I think this is it, first Y. Darn it, that's why. Darn it. This is the problem right here. I need logic to say, to tell you the truth, I don't know. Oh, I know. I need logic to say that if deck Z is greater than or equal to 1971, then dun dun dun. How about, yeah, because because I don't think deck Z will ever be anything other than that. Other than deck 1471, 971, 471, -75. I don't think I have any kind of code that modifies deck Z. Deck Z is never set anywhere else but here, right before you do the logic for all of the, because it sets what floor you're on. Deck Z, the Z height is what floor you're on. It was about Awen? Awen Valorn? Welcome in. That does indeed appear to be Y. Yeah, so this Y needs to be different for the different conditions. So I'm going to do that right now. So hopefully when I get that condition working, it will finally. So I need the deck Z here. I need to test if it is equal to 1971. That 1971 means it is finally on deck 5. We've finally reached deck 5. Okay, so if we have finally reached deck 5, so after this, oops, no, wait, is that the logic? If we have finally reached deck 5, no, we have to do that. True is going to be a different situation. So if deck Z is equal to deck 5, true, then we have to set the first Y to a different first Y. Yeah, and then, okay, so that is going to cause it to hopefully to I can get rid of this. Right, so we set this very specifically to a number, and then we go to occupied, and then we have to set this Y to this as well. I don't know if that's going to work though. No, it's not. Darn it. So this too is going to have some kind of a logic. Darn it. Oh gosh. How's it going? It's going good. I've been finally working on my game again. And now this time I've been holding off on creating the procedural generation for this northern region forever. And now I'm finally starting to work on it. So, and I just play tested it and it didn't work. So now I am going into the logic to see if I can make it work now. So if deck Z is finally equal to the 5th floor, 1971, then set that to I need to borrow one of these walls for a second. Click on that. I need you to tell me, what is this Y? This Y is negative 8,000. Actually, I don't think it's the wall that I need. What I need is the floor. So the floor right now is telling me negative 8,000. Whoops. Negative 7,500. My bad. Okay, so You know what? I have to go back, all the way back to the beginning, to what was the number? 3,500. 3,500. First y is equal to 3,500. We set it to that. That's where we start the hallway. But in the case of, so let me set this back to 3,500. Negative 7,500. 500. Okay. Something is wrong. Something is wrong. Oh, okay, no, it is right. It is right. It's right. Because, never mind. It's wrong. It's wrong. You want me to create the, it says here 3,500 on Y. Y is 3,500 here. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be 300. Whoops. 4000. It's supposed to be there, touching the hallway. That is where the very first hallway is. So I'm not sure what's going on. Why? Why is it not doing that? Why is it setting the first Y 3,500 all the way out here and not here where it's like an empty space? That's not making any sense. What's going on? Yet the logic seems to work. I mean, it's been working. So if it is equal to 1971, change that. But if not, if it's false, then set the Y, first Y to 3,500. It should be 4,000, not 3,500, so I'm not sure what's going on. Add to the occupied. There's something somewhere else that is creating this first hallway segment properly. And I don't know what it is. Because obviously the Y is equal to 3,500 is right here. Y equals to 3,500 is in the middle of the freaking floor. It's supposed to be touching the hallway. That's the very, very first hallway. So I'm not sure. It says 3,500. It should be 4,000, not 3,500. So I don't know what will happen if I change this code to 4,000. Will it? Doesn't make sense because it seems to work fine whenever I play test it. Other than that, it says 3,500. So what am I going to do? You know what? I'm just going to go back to 7,500. I'm going to say, instead of 7,500, negative 8,000. Say negative 8,000. So I need this Y to be set to, if deck Z is equal to 5, the fifth floor, then the first Y will be negative 8,000. Let's see if that happens. But Save all. Now, it takes a different path. I might as well just write a different custom event, because if I add this here, it erases that wire. So I don't want to do that. I might as well create a custom event off of this, which points back. Nope, don't have to point back. Just has to keep its own coordinates. See, and it creates this straight ahead. With the straight ahead, more spaghetti code. We'll do all of this. Save it into there. Darn it, I don't know what's going on. Well, there's nothing to it but do it. You gotta test it and see if it's gonna work or not. I think what I want to do is create a new does this need any kind of checks? Oh my god, yes it does need it. It does. I do need it. I just so there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So let me go ahead and go in here and do the checks for this. Wait a second, but I need to look at this. So if it's true, then I disconnect this. I go to another custom event. This Y set here. This Y is set there. And it goes into all of this stuff. So let me just do that. Copy. Paste everything here. Create a new custom event called whoops. First segment, first hallway, segment, northern region. All right. Uh-oh. I'm going to have to put in the what do I call it? This is the X. And this is the Y. Just like that. Final first hallway segment north. You know what? I don't like this name. Say north first hallway. I don't even need it to be hallway, just segment. North first segment. Like that. So it's much more simpler. Okay, north first segment. Move this up here. With the X and the Y, the X goes here, the Y goes here. The X goes here, the Y goes here. Any more? There. Save all. Deck C, Deck O is already set. A segment. Once this is done, this should go back. North first segment. So we go first hallway segment placed. Move this back. Down. Call north first segment. And then we can, this is the first Y. Oops, no, this one is negative 8,000. And then this is the first X. Okay, so hopefully that will work. I don't know. Hopefully it works. So, let me see if I can go through this logic. So, to create the first hallway segment placed, we find a random X. We set it in the first X variable. Then we test if deck Z is the 5th floor true, then we go to this logic. If not true, then we stay here. And we set the first Y to 3500.